Okay, boys and girls, we're going to do something a little bit new today. We are going to subtract mixed numbers with unlike denominators. That means the fraction bottoms are not the same. And we are going to be doing some regrouping. So let's jump into it. All right, so we have a subtraction problem up here. We have 9 1/7 minus 2 2/3. We're going to start off as normal. We're going to start off with our fractions, and the first thing I'm going to see is that my bottom numbers, 7 and 3, they're not the same. We have to find the least common multiple. Now, some of you all are still going ahead and subtracting and adding these things with unlike denominators. When the bottom number is not the same, when you're adding and subtracting, you have to make them the same. So we have to skip count by 7s. We have to skip count by 3s. We have to find the first number that's in both of them. So on this particular one, we have 7, 14, 21, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. So we have to change them both into 21s because that is the least common multiple of both of those numbers. All right, now we have to ask ourselves, how can we multiply times 7 and get to 21? Well, it's 7 times 3 equals 21. Well, if we multiplied the 7 by 21 in this fraction, we also have to multiply the 1. I said multiply by 7. If we multiplied it by 3, we also have to multiply the top number. So 1 times 3 is 3. Now we start over and we do the bottom number the same way. How do we get from 3 to 21? 3 times what? Well, it's 3 times 7. So if we took this 3 times 7, we also have to take the top number of this fraction times 7. So 2 times 7 is 14. Now we have 21s and 21s. Our bottom numbers are the same. We are ready to subtract. So let's do it. We have 21s minus 21s. We're going to be left with 21s. The bottom number is not changing. So now we look at our pieces, our top number. We have 3 pieces, and we need to get rid of 14. Uh-oh. I don't have enough pieces. I only have 3, and I have to get rid of 14 of them. I can't do it. I have to regroup. Just like in a normal subtraction problem, we regroup. We go over to the whole number. It's a little bit different with fractions. I'm going to try to make it as easy as possible for you right now. So we go over to our whole number 9. That means we have 9 whole pies, or 9 whole candy bars, or 9 whole whatever it is that we have. We are going to take one of these wholes because we need it. So I'm going to mark out my 9, and I'm going to take one of them away, so I'm left with 8. So I am going to bring over this whole pie and put it with my 3. Now, a kid in my class last year explained this to me in a real simple way. Because we're bringing over this whole pie or whole candy bar, it's in pieces. We're bringing over a whole thing cut into pieces. Well, how many pieces do we have? Well, what this kid suggested was, Mr. Drake, all you have to do is draw an arrow from your denominator up to your numerator, your top number. Because this denominator reminds you that you have 21 pieces. So then when you draw that arrow, all you have to do is put plus 21. Because that whole pie that you just brought over has 21 pieces, but you already had 3, so you have to put them together. I said, that's pretty smart. And so what is 3 plus 21? It's 24. So now we have 24 pieces, but it still only takes 21 to make a whole. But now we can subtract. We can do 24 minus 14 because we have enough now. Some of you all can do that in your head, but if not, write it down. 4 minus 4 is 0. 2 minus 1 is 10. So our answer to this subtraction problem is 10 over 21. Now all we have to do is go back to our whole numbers and add those in, or subtract those in. So what is 8 minus 2? It's 6. So our answer is 6 and 10 21s, or 10 21st. Let's do another one. So on this one, we have 5 1/9, and we're subtracting 3 5/6. Again, we start with the fraction. Our bottom numbers are not the same. We have to make them the same. Some of you all are not doing this, and you're wasting your time. You can't do it the way you're doing it. You have to make them the same. So we have to count by 9s, and we have to count by 6s until we find a number that's in both of those. So we go 9, 18, 6, 12, 18. Check it out. We count by 9s, we count by 6s. 18 is the least common multiple. It is the first number that appears in both lists. So we have to change them both to 18s. Now this is the step that some of you all forget. What do I do next? Well, that's why I drew the arrow. How do I get from 9 to 18? By multiplying. 9 times what is 18? It's 9 times 2. Why do we have to figure it out? Because we have to take the top number times the same number. 1 times 2 is 2. So on this one, we have 1 9s converts to 2 18s. It's an equivalent fraction, but we need it to be 18s. How do we get from 6 to 18? Multiply by what? 6 times 3 is 18. And if you didn't know, count how many 6s you did. Count how many 9s you did. It's 2 9s, it's 3 6s. That's all it is. But now we have to multiply the top. We have to do 5 times 3. 5 times 3 is 15. Now we are ready to subtract because we have 18s and 18s. We're ready to subtract. If we have 18s minus 18s, our answer is still going to be 18s. Now we do the top number. We have 2 pieces minus 15 pieces. If I have only 2 pieces, I can't get rid of 15 of them. What do I have to do? I have to regroup. I have to go to my whole number and bring over a whole so I have enough pieces. So I'm going to go over here and get rid of this 5, and I'm going to change it to a 4 because I need to bring this whole pie or this whole candy bar over and put it with the 2 pieces I have. Now some of you all get confused and it's like, Mr. Drake, you're only bringing over 1. You're right, I'm only bringing 1 whole thing over. But this whole thing in this problem is cut into pieces. It's cut into 18 pieces because I need 18 pieces to make a whole. So again, what the student from last year said, draw an arrow up, put a plus sign, and put that number because you're getting 18 pieces because you're bringing over a whole. So now all we have to do is add these up. Our bottom number is still going to be 18. It doesn't change. What is 18 plus 2? 18 plus 2 is 20. Now we're ready to subtract. We have 20 minus 15. If you don't know what that is, write it down. Regroup it. 10 minus 5 is 5. 1 minus 1 is 0. So our answer is 5 18ths. Now all we have to do is the whole number side. What is 4 minus 3? It's 1. So our answer is 1 5/18. We're finished. Now I'm going to show you one more just because you might see this one and I just don't want you to be confused by it. It's a little bit different. We have 10 minus 2 11/12. Okay, here's why it's a little bit confusing to some of you all. We always start with the fractions. We don't have a fraction here. It's 0. 0. 0 minus 11/12. Well, if you have 0, can you get rid of 11? No. You have to regroup. You need some pieces. You don't have any. So what do? We regroup. So we go over to our 10 wholes, and we're going to take a whole pie away. We're going to bring this whole pie over and put it here, but we're not going to put 1. We have to turn it into a fraction. What's our fraction? Well, this is where it's a little bit different because there's not a number there. We have to come down here. In this particular problem, we're dealing with 12s. So we're going to write 12s here because that's what we're dealing with. Okay, so what's our top number? It's full. We just bring this number up. We can still draw the arrow, and we can just put the 12. We're finished with that part. there's nothing to add because we had 0 pieces. Now we have a full one, which is 12 12s. Now we can subtract. 12s minus 12s, our bottom number is still going to be 12s. Now we do the top number. 12 minus 11 is 1. So now we have 1. We're finished with the fraction. Go over to the whole number. 9 minus 2. 9 minus 2 is 7. We are finished. So anyway, this is how we subtract mixed numbers with regrouping and having unlike denominators. The bottom number is not the same. Again, if your bottom number is not the same and you're adding or subtracting fractions or mixed numbers, you have to fix it. You have to find the least common multiple and do it. If you're not, you're wasting your time. You might as well not do it. You're doing it wrong. You got to fix it. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you need to get on the live Google Meet and do some problems with me. I can't make you, but you need to get on because you don't know what you're doing. So anyway, good luck. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.